Here's the truth. The most expensive mistake 95% of creatives accept isn't a bad investment. It's the belief that I'll deal with taxes later. Every month you delay, that anxiety chips away at your focus and literally costs you, with over $10,000 in missed deductions left on the table by year's end. Stop letting this feeling steal your profit and your peace. Together, I'll show you how to take back control. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. At the heart of this anxiety is a story many of us were told, a story we continue to tell ourselves, that there's a wall between our art and our business. On one side, there's the sacred space of creation, the studio, the laptop, the stage, where passion and purpose live. On the other, there's the cold, transactional world of invoices, spreadsheets, and tax forms. We believe that to be a true artist, we must protect our creative spirit from the taint of commerce. This internal conflict does more than just create stress. It fundamentally changes how we value our own work. When we see the business part of our life as a necessary evil, we start treating it that way. We delay sending invoices because it feels pushy. We avoid looking at our bank account because the numbers feel disconnected from the soul we poured into the project. And we put off taxes because they are the ultimate symbol of our art being treated as a commodity, a number on a government form. It's not just procrastination, it's a subconscious attempt to protect our identity as a creator. But this protection comes at a steep price, causing us to neglect the very systems that could provide the freedom to create even more. But what if this deep-seated conflict between the artist and the entrepreneur is a modern invention? What if the most revered creators throughout history understood a simple, timeless principle about money and meaning that we've been encouraged to forget? That principle is something so fundamental we often overlook it. Money is simply a record of value exchanged. It isn't a corrupting force or a necessary evil. It is a neutral, man-made tool designed to represent the trust, appreciation, and impact your work has on someone else. When a client pays your invoice, they aren't just buying your time. They are thanking you for the solution you provided, for the emotion you evoked, for the story you told. That payment is a tangible echo of the value you created. Think of the great masters of the Renaissance. Michelangelo didn't paint the Sistine Chapel for free. He negotiated contracts, managed a workshop of assistants, and understood his worth. Shakespeare wasn't just a playwright. He was a shareholder in his theater company, an entrepreneur who knew that a financially stable enterprise was the only way to ensure the plays could go on. They didn't see a wall between their art and their business. They saw a bridge. The business was the structure that allowed the art to reach its audience and to endure. They understood that stewarding their resources well was an act of service to their own creative gift. When we embrace this idea of value exchange, the entire narrative around our finances begins to shift. Suddenly, bookkeeping isn't a chore that pulls you away from your real work. It's the responsible act of tracking the value you've created. Sending an invoice isn't pushy, it's the professional completion of a value exchange you both agreed upon. And paying taxes? It's no longer a punishment for your success. It becomes the cost of participating in a society that provides the infrastructure, legal protections, and marketplace for your creative work to exist and thrive in the first place. This reframing doesn't diminish your art. It honors it by building a sustainable foundation beneath it, giving you the freedom and peace of mind to create for years to come, not just until your next frantic tax season. To make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand. Think of it like the final edit of a film or the last revision of a novel. The initial creation, the writing, the shooting, the composing, is where the raw, explosive energy is. It's the part we love. But the magic, the thing that transforms a good idea into a great piece of work, happens in the edit. It's the disciplined, sometimes tedious process of cutting what doesn't serve the story, refining the pacing, and ensuring every element works in harmony. It's an act of deep respect for the original creation. Your financial life is no different. Bookkeeping, tracking expenses, and preparing for taxes. This is the editing phase of your business. It's where you look at the raw data of your hard work and bring clarity to it. You're not just crunching numbers, you're refining the story of your business. You're seeing which clients truly value your work, which projects are most profitable, and where your resources are being wasted. This isn't a distraction from your art. It is the essential process that gives your creative career its structure, its clarity, and its power to endure. It honors the effort you've already put in. So if the act of organizing our finances is fundamentally an act of creative refinement, what is it inside of us that still resists it so fiercely? That resistance, that fierce internal pushback, is almost always rooted in identity. We cling to the label of artist as if it were a shield, one that protects us from the perceived coldness of the business world. It can even become a romanticized permission slip for financial chaos, a belief that to be a true creator, one must be unconcerned with, and maybe even a little bad at, money. We fear that if we become too organized or strategic, we'll somehow extinguish the very spark we're trying to protect. The mindset shift required is to gently let go of this limiting identity and embrace a more empowered one, that of the creative professional. This isn't about trading your passion for a spreadsheet. It's about recognizing that professionalism is the ultimate act of service to your creative gift. A creative professional doesn't just wait for opportunity, they build the vessel for it. They see financial stewardship not as a distraction, but as the very framework that gives their art the freedom to grow, to reach people, and to sustain them for a lifetime. It's the difference between being a passenger in your career and being the pilot. The shift, then, is from a passive perspective of, I'm an artist who is burdened by business, to an active one. I am a creative professional who uses business as a tool to amplify my work. Making this internal switch from victim to architect is the most powerful move you can make. With that foundation in place, let's outline the blueprint for putting this into practice. So the blueprint begins here, with this fundamental shift in perspective. The anxiety you feel isn't about numbers, it's about the limiting story we've been told. By seeing money not as a corrupting force, but as a simple record of the value you create, you transform the entire process. Managing your finances becomes an act of creative refinement, not a distraction. You step out of the role of the burdened artist and into the quiet power of the creative professional, the architect of your own sustainable career. I'm curious, what's one belief about money or business that you're ready to let go of after watching this? Share it in the comments below. If you're ready to continue building a career that honors both your art and your financial well-being, subscribe and join our community. We're laying the foundation, one blueprint at a time.